This week I cooked easy lo mein, and today I will be giving it a real-world dad score. This recipe was suggested to me by Yummly and is linked in the description below. Yummly is an app I've been using on my phone for a couple years now. It collects recipes from the internet, allows you to plan meals and add them to your calendar, and even makes shopping lists. I only use the recipe and planning functions, and as far as I know, it's available on both Apple and Android. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Yummly, but I will be providing a review of that app in the near future. So please do me a favor and subscribe below and keep an eye out for more upcoming reviews. I will be scoring this recipe based on 6 criteria: ingredients, cost, time to prep and cook, clarity of directions, flavor, and cleanup. At the end, I will tally the points to give us a real-world dad score, which on its own means absolutely nothing, but when factored as a percentage and converted to a letter grade will give you a reliable score you can use to determine whether or not this recipe is worth cooking yourself. Now, I want to note I am not a professional chef. I have never worked in food service, but I have been cooking for my family of 7 for 15 years, so let's get started. Ingredients are easily sourced and can be substituted for frozen in a pinch. I substituted baby corn for spinach because we're not big fans of cooked spinach, and snap peas for snow peas because we prefer their taste and texture. Additionally, I added water chestnuts left over from another recipe for some extra crispiness. If you have the seasonings on hand, this recipe is really inexpensive to prepare. However, if you don't have the special seasonings like sesame oil, ground ginger, soy sauce, or sriracha sauce, this can easily become an expensive meal. We routinely stock those ingredients in our pantry, so the ingredients needed to feed 7 of us worked out to just under $20, which breaks down to less than $3 per person. So this recipe scores an easy 9 for ingredients. Preparation is very easy and consists of washing and cutting the vegetables into strips. The recipe doesn't have a prep time, but it does say cook time is 15 minutes from start to finish. I found that to be a little optimistic, with prep time taking about 10 minutes, and even with the ingredients divided between 2 pans due to finicky eaters who don't like mushrooms or water chestnuts, cook time was just a little over 20 minutes. Still, 30 minutes to prepare a healthy, filling meal for 7 is really convenient, so this recipe gets a 9 for preparation and cook time and is great for a weekday. Directions are straightforward and easy to follow. The 5 steps involved include making the sauce, boiling the noodles, stir-frying the vegetables, mixing the cooked noodles in, and serving. I'm hard-pressed to find an easier recipe that involves more than 5 ingredients, so this recipe gets the first 10 on my channel for directions. This is where things get a little interesting. I thought for sure this would be a hit with the family, but reviews were mixed. My wife gave it a 9, Gracie gave it a 7 because she couldn't differentiate the flavors, Liz gave it a 10, Ian gave it a 7 saying it tasted bland and too much like soy sauce, and Sebastian gave it a 9 and I gave it a 6 agreeing with Gracie and Ian. It had good flavors, but the soy sauce kinda overwhelmed everything. I even used low sodium soy sauce, but may reduce the amount used next time. Despite using 2 skillets to make this recipe with and without mushrooms, cleanup was easy. I only needed a couple bowls for the vegetables and a liquid measuring cup to make the sauce, so this recipe gets a 9 for cleanup. That brings our overall score to 52, which proves that score alone means absolutely nothing because this is the highest scoring recipe on my list to date. However, it has the lowest score on the list for flavor. I really like the potential of this recipe. On paper, it looked simple yet delicious, so I'll likely try it again, but it will be with several changes. First, as I said before, the soy sauce was a little overwhelming, and the more I think about it, I'd probably cut the amount of soy sauce in half and maybe add some chicken broth. I'd also replace the white sugar with light brown sugar and maybe add some red pepper flakes and a little more sriracha. I think that would bring out the vegetables more and really liven up the flavors this recipe promises. That's all for this week. Don't forget to subscribe because next week, instead of a recipe, I will be giving an honest, real-world dad review about my brand new Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra from unboxing through the first 3 weeks of use. Thank you for watching and see you next time.